Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the live 120, 140, 160 class. Even though I don't have any of you right now in the live class, I'm just going to go ahead and record, and I know you're going to be watching this at a later time. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, and I'll answer any questions that you may have. So this class right now will be held on Wednesday mornings from 9 to 10. And then I will have another class on Fridays, which covers, let's see, the 180, 200, 225 from 9 to 10. And then again, back on Monday morning, Monday evening at 5, from 5 to 6, we will be running the 60, 80, 100 class. So if you are kind of in between any of those classes, I really encourage you to go to a push, one of these classes that will push you, or go the other way and let it be somewhat of a trail class for you. If you're in like a mid speed, I encourage you to still attend the lower speeds so you can trail, but also attend the higher speeds, and then you can push. So that way you're getting a variety. And obviously if you're pushing, then you just want to get what you can. It's better to write what you can as opposed to just writing a bunch of slop. So that's kind of my opinion there with that. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. And we're going to start today with just some words to kind of get our fingers going. All right. And these are basic words. Ready? All right, here we go. Gave, less, sale, regret, rest, card, candy, ready, cut, delay, looking, surely, replying, orders, ordered, Friday, half, war, between, things, offer, recent, weeks, promptly, supply, country, deed, connection, different, where, records, trouble, contract, talk, talking, accept, sincerely, December. All right, moving right into a number drill. This is going to focus on states and dollar amounts. Here we go. New York, $6,370.39. Oakland, $5,898.53. New Orleans, $4,746.18. Denver, $4,548.92. Atlanta, $5,591.73. Pittsburgh, $8,998.97. Detroit, $3,867.15. Phoenix, $14,659.17. Dallas, $6,450.84. Portland, $16,134.62. Cleveland, $5,192.39. Richmond, $15,957.39. Baltimore, $10,054. Houston, $3,279.01. Reno, $2,723.41. Seattle, $4,214.32. Boston, $7,010. $2.98. All right. Moving right into our next drill. This is going to focus on sentences that have the following briefs. We've got article, ARL, determine, DERM, complete, PL long ET, completion, PL long EGS, apartment, PARMT. Here are your sentences. Ready? He wrote an article for the paper. Did you read the article on stress? Is the newspaper article accurate? He writes many good news articles. She wanted to read both articles to him. Where are the articles in question? When will he determine the answer? George is going to determine the cost. Please determine the price of the dress. She determines the total every hour. He determines the results of the tests. Linda determines that on a daily basis. Everything was determined in the meeting. We determined the winner of the contest. Alan was a very determined man. Who is determining that action? Is John determining the best plan? Determination is the key to success. The judge made the determination. She showed incredible determination. We rented the apartment yesterday. It is not a furnished apartment. They have a nice 2-bedroom apartment. The 2 apartments have a nice view. How many apartments are on that floor? The apartments were not large enough. He made a complete fool of himself. Are the building plans now complete? Have you completed the application? I am completing my last year of school. John is completing his junior year. The element completes the picture. Be sure that he completes it on time. That plan is completely impossible. Richard is completely wrong about it. They remained completely in the dark. When is it scheduled for completion? The completion rate was very high. Completion is set for September. Good morning.
Hey, Jill.
How are you?
Good.
Good. It's so great to. Yes, I can. I
Sweet.
sure can. It's so great to see you.
You too.
Awesome.
Am I the only one in class?
Yes, you are. I had several Monday evening, but today you're the only one. So it looks like it's just you and I.
Sweet.
Yes, and I know I said this in the other class, and I'll let you guys know. You guys feel free to you can always jump in at any time. What we'll do is typically, if you guys have any questions, you can ask at the end of class, and that way, if you jump in, just feel free to jump in, and then know at the end, I'll always give you guys time to ask any questions.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
So I'm just gonna let's see here. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and unmute you, and then I'm going to mute you, and then at the end of the class I'll unmute you, and then we can talk. Sound good?
Okay.
All right. Cool. Sounds good. All right. So typically what we'll do in a class is I'll start out with drills. and then we'll go into some literary jury charge, and then we'll go right into some Q&A, okay? And then the Q&A, I'll typically, since it's a 120, 140, 160 class, I'll just kind of break it down. Sometimes I'll read a section at 120, and then I'll go to 140, and then 160, or sometimes I'll just work my way up, okay? All right, so I've got one more drill before we move on to some literary and jury charge. Okay, this is going to be the of the drill. Okay, here we go, ready? Of the clock, of the dog, of the sea, of the toe, of the tail, of the land, of the boat, of the skirt, of the pest, of the gap, of the fog, of the view, of the yarn, of the kite, of the wire, of the stone, of the store, of the lot, of the book, of the mail, of the cat, of the rail, of the cage, of the ridge, of the load, of the shirt, of the hip, of the tile, of the yard, of the neck, of the stick, of the coat, of the bat, of the spine, of the stove. All right. Moving right into literary and jury charge. I'm going to read to you a little bit of the opening statements from this famous case that was held in Wisconsin, and it's about the gal that was a photographer for the Auto Trader magazine and went and took some pictures of a car that was for sale, and she went missing, and then they found her on the property. Actually, they found her car, and I guess they found her remains in like a burn barrel. So this was a famous case. So I'm going to read you some of the opening statements from this. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to start this at 120, and then I'll work my way up to 160. Okay, here we go. This is going to be a time when the judge is going to allow you to take a few-minute break, your morning break. Excuse me. After you return, we will then tell you about what evidence it is that the state intends to show and why it is that the state intends to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that that man, Tyler Melvin, committed the crimes of first-degree intentional homicide, mutilation, and sexual assault. So if we may, Judge, take a 10 or 15-minute break at this time, and when you come back, I will conclude my opening statement. Thank you very much. The screens have now been fixed. The reason we are here is for Tyler Melvin. We are here for the jury to consider Tyler Melvin, his behavior, or whether or not he participated in criminal behavior. The judge instructed you that you are going to be able to take notes during the testimony in this case, during the presentation of the evidence. Now, as you take notes, it oftentimes is a suggestion from the lawyers, Mr. Freeman or Mr. Edgar, whoever is giving their opening statement, may have suggestions for you as well. But in note-taking, in taking detailed notes, which you are going to be able to use during your deliberations. The 2 questions at least that the state is going to ask or present evidence that is going to ask you to are number 1, where was he? Was he there? And number 2, did he help? Was he there? And did he help? On November 6th, Tyler Melvin, right after this case began, right after the investigation began in this case, denied any knowledge of McKenna Frank's death. Oh, he did indicate some version that he had seen his Uncle John talking with McKenna, but the investigators pretty much disregarded that because it wasn't consistent and it didn't fit with the timeline. It didn't fit with the evidence. Remember, McKenna got there at about 2:40. You are going to hear evidence that Tyler didn't get off the bus from school until 3:45, a full hour after that meeting, after McKenna would have been talking out on the porch with Mr. Smith. And so Tyler was nowhere on the radar screen. He was nowhere as a suspect. He was just a witness, like any other witness who might have been on the property. That tends to change on February 27 when Tyler starts giving his new details. He is re-interviewed based upon some other information that was obtained by Mr. Fass and Mr. Wilbert, and he then becomes a much more important witness. He is now a witness at this point. He says that he sees John standing near the fire. He sees body parts of McKenna Frank in the fire. He helps put fuel on the fire to help kind of stoke up the fire, if you will. Uncle John makes some admissions that Uncle John stabbed McKenna Frank, but also that Mr. Melvin saw some clothing. And interestingly, he said he saw McKenna's clothing in a bag, and he saw them in a bag in the garage. Well, as officers, you will learn, kind of reconstructed that February 27th statement. They started saying, as investigators do, well, wait a second, that can't happen that way. How can he describe McKenna Frank's clothing if they are in a bag? In the forensic interviews, you will hear testimony from investigator Mark Willow. Witnesses gave interviews and forensic interviewing. You will hear some version of what's called the funnel technique. Okay, so I only got up to 140 with that, okay, because I figured we didn't have enough there to move all the way up to 160. So I'm going to give you just a little bit more. I'm going to read this at 160, okay? So you're going to hear, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, which is L long AJS, I'm sure you already know that, attorney, TORN, defendant, DEFT, beneficial, I write that as BESHL, Bishel, prosecute, initial PR, responsibility, SPONT. Okay, so here, the subject here is attorney and client. And I will read this at 160. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, an attorney at law, when retained by another, is entitled to fair and reasonable compensation for the professional services rendered. There is no fixed standard by which the value of the services of an attorney can be determined. His value and reasonable price necessarily vary with the magnitude and importance of the particular case, the degree of responsibility attaching to the work performed, the difficulty of the matters involved, the time consumed, and the benefits derived. In ascertaining the value of such services, you will exercise your sound discretion and judgment and allow such reasonable amount as you believe constitutes a just and fair compensation for the services rendered, not to exceed the sum of $30,000. In determining the value of the services rendered, you may also take into consideration the fact that at the time of undertaking the work, the attorneys bound themselves to make no charge for their services if they failed to secure beneficial results. The fact that these services were to be rendered on a contingent fee basis, which means that no charge was to be made unless beneficial results were obtained for the defendant, should be considered by you in determining the value of the services. It is customary for attorneys to charge more when they undertake to render professional services on a contingent fee basis, because under such a contract, no charge can be made unless beneficial results are obtained, no matter how much actual work may have been performed. You are instructed that the mere fact, if it be a fact, that the litigation did not result to such advantage to defendant as he may have hoped it would, does not preclude the right of plaintiffs to recover in this action. If the defendant employed the plaintiffs to prosecute the suit in question, the plaintiffs are entitled to be paid for their services. So that was at 160. Okay, so we're going to move right into Q&A. And I'm going to read this. It's only one page. So I'm going to read this once at 140, then actually, I'm going to start at 120, then at 140, and then again at 160. Okay, and this is just strictly Q&A with the plaintiff. All right, here we go. Let me give you a word list. Sorry. We've got client, actively, activity, subscribers, imprinted, estimated, incapable, and then you're going to hear how many at this time, all the, I like to phrase that, AULT, signals, which is SNAL with the Z, and then at all times, TALTs. Okay, all right, here we go. Were the dots and dashes being imprinted on the tape at this time? Right on the tape. They could refer back to the tape and it would tell you the whole story right there. How many tapes were on the board that you monitored? I'd just take a rough guess, really. Was there one tape for each client on that board? No, it just ran continuously. One tape would cover everything. Was there only one tape coming out of that one board that you monitored? Right. And that would cover all the subscribers on that board? Right. Do I recall that you estimated that there were approximately 50 subscribers that were on that board? It depends on what board they put you on. Some boards had more, some boards had less. Was there anything else that you had to watch on that board besides the tape? I had enough trouble with that one. I couldn't take care of anything else. Did that tape run at various speeds depending upon how much activity there was? It all sounded the same, just running right through. There had to be a tape coming from that board at all times, or the board would be incapable of sending signals? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to read this now at 140. Okay, all right, here we go. Were the dots and dashes being imprinted on the tape at this time? right on the tape. They could refer back to the tape and it would tell you the whole story right there. How many tapes were there on the board that you monitored? I just take a rough guess, really. Was there one tape for each client on that board? No, it just ran continuously. One tape would cover everything. Was there only one tape coming out of that one board that you monitored? Right. And that would cover all the subscribers on that board? Right. Do I recall that you estimated that there were approximately 50 subscribers that were on that board? It depends on what board they put you on. Some boards had more, some boards had less. Was there anything else that you had to watch on that board besides the tape? I had enough trouble with that one. I couldn't take care of anything else. Did the tape run at various speeds depending upon how much activity there was? It all sounded the same, just running right through. There had to be a tape coming from that board at all times, or the board would be incapable of sending signals? Yes. All right, so now I'm going to read this at 160. Okay. All right, here we go. Were the dots and dashes being imprinted on the tape at this time? Right on the tape. They could refer back to the tape and it would tell you the whole story right there. How many tapes were there on the board that you monitored? I just take a rough guess, really. Was there one tape for each client on that board? No, it just ran continuously. One tape would cover everything. Was there only one tape coming out of that one board that you monitored? Right. And that would cover all these subscribers on that board? Right. Do I recall that you estimated that there were approximately 50 subscribers that were on that board? It depends on what board they put you on. Some boards had more, some boards had less. Was there anything else that you had to watch on that board besides the tape? I had enough trouble with that one. I couldn't take care of anything else. Did the tape run at various speeds depending upon how much activity there was? It all sounded the same, just running right through. There had to be a tape coming from that board at all times, or the board would be incapable of sending signals? Yes. All right. Moving right into a different subject. Now, this has pretty much four voice. You're going to hear all, the plaintiff is questioning, but defense and the court do jump in. And this has some broken English, so trust what you hear, okay? The witness has, I noticed, has some broken English here, okay? All right, here we go. And I'm going to start at 140, and then I'll start at 120 and then kind of work my way into 140. And then the next segment we do, we'll start at 140 and work our way to 160, kind of break it up. Here we go. Did he appear to you to be dead at that time? I didn't know whether he was dead or not. I didn't examine him. You just pushed him over in the front seat. Is that right? He was already in the front seat. He was sitting about middle ways. He was close to the steering wheel, so I pushed his body over so that I could get room to drive. Did you notice any blood on the floor in the back of that car? I did not even turn around to look in the car. I just drove the car. Did you notice your hat was in the car? I didn't know anything was in the car at all, but him and me. Now, when did Viola take your hat? She taken my hat the first time that she called me to come over. She threw her arm around me and tell me that we can get some money. Did you ever try to get your hat back from her? I never thought no more about my hat because she taken my hat many times and would return it to me. Was she wearing your hat when you last saw her? When she taken it off my head, she put it on her head. Did she have it on her head when they took you home? I don't know whether she had it on then because I did not pay any attention to it. Did you see your hat at all that night after Viola had it? The only time I seen my hat is when I seen it in the police station when they showed it to me. Well, didn't you see it when the police arrested you out there? This was at the police station when they showed me the hat. They didn't show it to you when they first arrested you? Not to my knowing it, no. Now, incidentally, how much money did you have on your person when you were in the car with Mr. Horner after you drove him home? Well, I had a few dollars and some change. I may have had $1's worth of change. Maybe I had a little bit more even. Did you drive across any curb or any lawn at all? No, I haven't. Now, you were walking towards the house when you noticed the policeman and the flashlight just before he arrested you. Is that right? I was on my way. When I were talking, I seen two ladies standing there on the porch. Did you say two ladies? Yeah, two ladies were standing on the porch motioning. When I seen the two ladies on the porch motioning, I turned around. Why did you turn around? I turned around to go back home. When I turned back around again to go to this liquor store, then I saw a red light flashing on the pavement. Then I turned around to go back home, and then the police flashed the light on me and told me to stop. Why did you keep turning around? Why did you do that? I was wondering what they were motioning for. I thought someone was behind me because I had been waiting for Viola to come by with my money at my house. I see. When you turned around, you didn't see anybody behind you, did you? No. Then you turned around to go back toward the liquor store, is that right? Yeah, that's right. That's when I seen the red light flashing on. Then you started to turn back again? You turned to go back to your house? That's right. That's when the police flashed the light on me. Why did you turn around the second time? Why did I turn around the second time? What do you mean? Well, after you saw the light, didn't you turn around and walk back toward your house? After I seen the light flashing from the reflection from the pavement, then I turned around to go back home. You decided to go back home after you saw the light on the pavement. Is that it? Yeah, I knowed that I had a pistol on me. Then, the police would pick me up and carry me to jail for carrying a pistol. That's the only reason you turned around to go home. You wanted to go home before the police saw that you had a gun? Yeah, right. I didn't want to go to jail. So we got up to 140. Okay. Now I'm going to start at 140 and move our way up to 160. Okay. All right. I'm going to give you a little bit of a, not so much a word list, but more of some briefs you're going to hear and some phrases. Okay. So you're going to hear it was, at the time, when was, conversation, do you remember? You're going to hear daughter. I like to write daughter as D-A-U-R. At that time, I don't know. I don't. Did you ever? Children. Looks like that's about it. All right. So I'm going to start at 140 and then I'll move my way up to 160. This is going to be defense. Okay, here we go. Do you remember the conversation you had with Mrs. Bold regarding that? Well, she asked me whether she could dry her clothes, and I said yes. And was that the day she did dry them? Yes. About when was it? Well, the time I do not know. I really don't remember. Where did this conversation take place? It was in my backyard. Was anyone else present at the time? My daughter was there. How old is your daughter? 4. And what did you tell Mrs. Bold about it? I didn't tell her anything about it. Well, did you tell her that she could or could not? I said that she could come over to dry her clothes. Yes. And she proceeded to take advantage then of your facilities, your dryer? Yes. Did you help her the first time that she was there? Yes, she was in a hurry, and I helped her load them in the dryer. At about what time of day was that? Do you remember? Well, it was in the morning. I don't know the exact time. Well, would you say it was 2 hours before noon or an hour before noon? Oh, well, around 9, I guess. And was the dog there at the time? Yes, it was. Incidentally, what kind of dog is this? It's just a dog. How large is the dog? Not terribly big. Would you say he is 2 feet high if he is standing on all 4 legs, or can you give us an estimate? Gosh, I do not know. Do you know how heavy the dog is? No, I don't. I have never weighed it. Okay, don't guess then. Approximately how old is the dog? Around 9. I don't know exactly. Then on this first occasion, when she was in there, was the dog present? Yes, he was. Was he loose in the yard? He is always loose in the yard. You do not keep him tied up within the yard? Oh, no. Did you ever let him out of the yard? No, he is always in the back. Do you remember whether the dog played with any of the children, either Mrs. Bold's children or the other children that were there? Oh, yes, because my daughter's friends come over. On the occasion in question, were there children there? No, because it was too early. The kids don't come over at that time. But they were over there then, were they not? No, there was nobody there then except my daughter. No other children? No, no other children. Then did you have any conversation with Mrs. Bold about returning for the clothes? Yes, I told her to be sure and call me and let me know when she came back. And this conversation you had was after the clothes were loaded. Yes, that's right. She was starting to go. And did you say anything else at that time? I don't remember. Did she say anything else? That I don't remember. And when she did return, when did you first see her? Well, I had just laid my daughter down for a nap, and I heard the dog barking. So I went out to see what she was barking about, and there stood Mrs. Bold in the back of my yard. Did you see anyone else? Her daughter was with her. Was the daughter in the yard at that time? Well, she was half and half. She was in between the gate and was she standing in the gateway? Is that what you mean? Yes, she was just coming through the gate into the yard. So that was started off at 140, and then about, I don't know, maybe after a minute, I went right into 160. Okay, let's see here. So it's 9:33. Good, we're doing good on time. Would you like to do a little read back? Or would you like to, we can have our first class if you want. And then I just asked because somebody had asked me on Monday if I would do a little read back. And I said, oh, I didn't do it that day, but I said, sure, if you guys want a little read back. So today, why don't we just do practice? Okay, we'll do practice. Okay. All right, now this one, you're going, with this Q&A, you're gonna hear pickup truck. It comes up throughout the whole thing. And I like to write that as P-U-K. And then if puck ever comes up, I flag it. But then I know some people like to flag pickup truck and then just write puck as it is. It's totally up to you, okay? You're also going to hear a diagram, D-R-A-M, independent, I-N-D, investigation, V-E-G-S, indicate, K-long A-T, ambulance, headlight, initial H, final L-T, request, K-W, on the initial side, vehicle, V long EK, familiarize, I write that as, well, familiars, FAM, and then I just come back for long IZ, emergency, initial M, final J. Okay, all right. Oh, and did you know you can also type a message here too, just so you know. Let's see, unmute.
Raise hand. There it is.
Yay!
Okay. Pickup truck. Is that pickup one word, hyphenated, 2 words?
Let's see here. Pickup truck. It is, pickup is one word, then space, then truck. So pickup is one word. Yep.
Cool.
Okay, all right. So yes, and that you're going to hear that throughout this whole thing. I don't think you even, sometimes you'll hear pick up, and I like to write that as pup. And then again, if pup comes up, I flag it because pickup comes up all the time. But it's up to you. You know, you can always flag pickup and write pup as it is. But in this particular case, they always say pickup truck. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start off with, I think this one, it's about 2 pages. I'm going to start off at 120, then go to 140, and then 160. Okay. So you'll definitely hear it. All right. Here we go. All right. Here we go. All right, looks like this is plaintiff. Was the pickup truck on the east side of the roadway when you arrived? Yes, sir, it was. Was the front end of the pickup truck pointing toward or away from the east curb? Towards the east curb. Have you shown that in your diagram? Yes, sir. Could you now draw on this map the position of the pickup truck as it was at the point of rest when you arrived. I don't recall whether it was against the curb or possibly a foot or so from the curb. Is it your best recollection that it was close to the curb, either against it or within a foot or two of the curb? Yes, sir, that's correct. Was the rear end of the pickup truck slightly to the north of the front end of the pickup truck? Possibly. I have no independent recollection of this. Is the area where this accident occurred fairly well lit? Yes, sir, it is. After you arrived and conducted an investigation of the accident, did you or your partner assist Mrs. Hall in going from the accident location to her home? Yes, sir, that's correct. Did one of you drive the pickup truck from the accident location to Mrs. Hall's home? Yes, sir, I did. Was her home close to the place where this accident occurred? Yes, sir. Did you drive the pickup truck from the accident location to her home? Yes, sir, I did. To do that, was it necessary for you to get into the driver's seat of the pickup truck? That's correct. You have indicated the area was fairly well lighted. Is that correct, sir? Yes, sir. Was an ambulance present when you arrived? Yes, sir. Did the ambulance approach the area from the north? I'm assuming it did. It was parked just south of the vehicle in question. Do you recall whether it had its lights on? Yes, it did. When you parked your vehicle, did you park south of the pickup truck? Yes. Were the headlights on your vehicle shining towards the pickup truck? Yes, sir. Do you know whether or not Mrs. Hall requested or was offered medical assistance by the ambulance personnel? Yes, sir. Do you know whether she declined or accepted medical assistance from the ambulance personnel? She refused medical assistance. Do you recall whether you or your partner also asked her if she would accept medical assistance? I have no independent recollection of this. When you got into the pickup truck before driving to Mrs. Hall's home, was it necessary for you to familiarize yourself with the systems in the pickup truck and how it operated? Yes, sir. Did this include the location of the pedals? Yes. The brake pedal? Yes. The steering gear adjusting lever? Yes. How about the emergency brake? Yes. When you sat in the car familiarizing yourself with her car, did you have the door open so that the lights inside the car would be on? I don't recall whether I had the door open or not after I sat down. All right, so we're doing good on time. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys another one, okay? Switching transcripts here. I'm going to give you a word list. All right, here we go. So we've got Connecticut State Prison, New Haven, cell block, a wing, incarcerated, mafia, Sergeant York, murder, inmate, cuffs, karate, gurney, profanity, Connor, Kilroy, Franklin, Lewis. All right, so this is going to start with defense questioning, and just a couple of reminders for briefs. We've got circumstance, which is SIRK. Surprise, you can squeeze that, SPR long IZ. Argumentative, ARGT. To the ground, TOEG. Kind of like on the ground, OEG. Handcuff, HAUF. Sergeant, I like to write sergeant as SARGT, but I think some people like it SAERGT, so whatever you like. Hospital, HOPT. Whether or not, and you're going to hear, were you able? So you can phrase that as well. All right. All right, we're going to start with defense. Okay, again, I'm going to start now with at 140 and move my way up to 160. There we go. Ready? Could you tell us the circumstances that occurred on March 10, 2010 at the Connecticut State Prison in New Haven? Yes, that morning I was working as a security guard assisting to Unit 12, cell blocks 3 and 4. Please proceed. On that particular morning, my supervisor, Sergeant York, informed us that we would be holding a surprise inspection of the A Wing. What is the A Wing? The A Wing is a closely monitored section within Connecticut State Prison. It contains maximum security cells. Why is an individual sent to the A Wing? It all depends. Some individuals are very dangerous. They have committed murder, multiple murders, and most have already been incarcerated in several other institutions. Then murders are the only prisoners in this A Wing? No, some are escape risks. They have broken out before or tried. Some are high-powered people, members of the mafia, and other organized crime units, different gangs. Did you assist in conducting a search? Yes, I did. During the search, did an incident occur in Eric Lewis's cell? Yes. What happened? We finished searching the A Wing and were returning the inmates to their cells. Inmate Lewis approached the bars and became argumentative with me regarding the removal of the personal belongings from his cell. What did you remove? A small piece of metal and a sharpened pencil. What was said by inmate Lewis? He began using a great deal of profanity, trying to enrage the other prisoners. He began tearing his cell apart. What happened then? After I ordered the other inmates into their cells and locked them down, we entered inmate Lewis's cell. Did a fight ensue? Yes, inmate Lewis refused to calm down. He continued throwing things. Sergeant York struck the inmate across the back in an effort to make him stop. Inmate Lewis swung at Sergeant York and hit him in the left jaw. He fell to the ground. Then what happened? I attempted to assist Sergeant York. I grabbed inmate Lewis from the back in a chokehold. At the same time, Sergeant York was able to return to a standing position. Were you able to restrain him? Yes, Sergeant York put the handcuffs on him, and we returned to exit the cell. What happened then? Inmate Lewis was being led from the cell when he performed a karate-type kick into Sergeant York's back. York fell to the ground. Were you able to control inmate Lewis? Yes, I hit him in the back of the head with my nightstick, and he fell to the ground. I then called for assistance on my radio unit. Why didn't you call for assistance prior to this time if you knew of the prisoner's violent nature and past history? Everything happened so quickly, it did not cross my mind. What happened next? Guards Connor and Kilroy entered A Wing and assisted us. Was the prisoner rendered unconscious? Yes, he appeared to be. Was Sergeant York unconscious? No, but he was in extreme pain and could barely stand up. What happened then? Guard Kilroy radioed for medical help to be sent from the prison hospital to A wing and began to assist Sergeant York. What did Guard Connor do? He began checking cells in the A wing to make sure that no other disturbances were about to start. Did anyone check to see whether or not inmate Lewis was breathing or conscious? At that time, no. What position was he in? Lying face down, his arms behind him, his hands in cuffs. How long did it take for medical assistance to arrive? It took about 10 minutes. All right, that was a little bit more difficult, I think, if I had to guess there. All right, so let's see, it's 9:57. I'm going to go ahead and unmute everyone. Okay, Adam, so what did you think and how are you?
Good. That was good. I remember there being a word that I wish there was a brief for, and now I can't remember, as per usual.
Was it in this last Q&A that I gave?
I think it was.
Was it disturbance or incarcerated?
I think it was. It was something. Yeah, it was definitely something to do with the prison.
Yeah.
Let's see. Inmates, conviction. Oh well.
Institution.
Think about it later.
Yeah, if you think about it, let me know, and I can
Right.
look it up and see if I can find a brief for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll write it down and check into it too. Cool.
Yeah, I think that definitely that last piece was more challenging than the previous.
Yeah, a little bit.
I could always tell when I'm reading.
Yep. I'll look through my transcript and see. I'll find it.
And I know I made this announcement on Monday, but if you ever have any type of material or drills or anything that you want me to pull, let me know and I can find it. And, like if there's a certain drill that, you want to work on, let me know and I'll get the material and then read it in the next class.
Cool.
Okay.
Good. How long have you been with Platinum Steno here?
Since the first day.
Day?
Yes. I've been with Robert since day one, and I'm so excited to be able to work with him and now that he's, having us, perform live classes, it's so exciting.
That was one of the first question I asked him when I signed up was if he was going to have live classes, and he's like, maybe, we'll see.
Yes. And depending on, the reaction of everyone, he may add more. So, so then on Friday, I'm not sure what speed you're in right now, but
I'm in 160.
Okay. Awesome. Good job. So then on Friday morning, same time, from 9 to 10, we'll do 180, 200, 225. So if you want to push, I encourage you to. I mean, you're in 160, so this, you were at the top of this one. So I encourage you to do that. And just instead of trying to get everything and writing a bunch of mess, I just, encourage you to get what you can. You drop, And if you want to, if we do read back and you can just say pass, I'll just follow along and see how I did. And I don't care to read back. So that's okay too.
Do that 180.
Yes.
Cool. Are you going to be doing any of the recorded videos, or is that just Cheryl's doing all of those?
Yeah, no, actually I'm doing recorded as well. Yes. Yeah. I'm doing a variety. Yes. Yep. I'm surprised.
Have I just not come across them yet?
Yeah, I don't think that you have, because I know I've got several out there. So it's probably just the ones that you happen to click on.
Guess so.
Yep. How long have you been with Robert?
Only about a month now.
Okay. Well, yeah. Welcome. And again, if you have any questions, please.
Oh, real quick, do you know if the live classes are available with the light version, or is that only with the full premium?
The live
just $25 a month light.
Yes, the light is just let's see here. Let me get my sheet. And I don't want to tell you wrong. Because I believe that the light also has the classes as well, but I don't want to, let me get back to you on that. Let me see here. Got my sheet somewhere, but I don't want to tell you wrong. Let's see here. Okay, I'll go ahead and let you know this. If you go onto the main website on that page, it'll break it down for you. It'll have checks of what the light versus the platinum offers. And I believe that you do get access to the live classes. But I don't want to say for sure. Darn it. I'm so sorry. I wish I had my sheet here because it breaks it down. But
I was logged in already, so
yeah, no, that's okay.
Do it.
That's okay. Gosh darn it. Yeah, and I had that here with me because I like to keep it handy just in case somebody asks me a question, you know, the difference between the two. Darn it. Let me see here.
Let's see. Speed building library, learning discount.
Okay, I just found it. So the light does not have live recordings.
No?
No, not the light. The premium does.
Oh, it has it listed on the website.
Yes. Yep.
Went to it.
Go to the web. Yep, it shows you. The light is strictly like practice material. Like if you're using it just to kind of, you know, like you want just practice material, that's what it's for. So no live recordings for the light. No instructor help, but you do get access to all of the, you know, all the material. So it's kind of like whatever you're looking for.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like half the things.
Yes.
Mostly the difference, like, is the test simulators.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So this says access to live class schedule, but no access to the live class recordings.
No live recordings. So if it says, okay, yes, if it says live schedule, then that tells me that you will have access to the live class, but then if you can't make that, then you can't watch, you won't have access to the recording. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't realize this was here comparing them.
Yes, it's so nice. I need to print that out myself. So, and again, real quick, if you have any questions for Robert or you think of one for me regarding a brief or whatever, you can send an email to info@platinumsteno.com. And if it's regarding me, he'll forward it to me. And if it has something to do, if you have, you know, a technical issue or anything with, you know, you have any questions about your machine, just send it to that info and he'll email you back. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds
well,
good.
I hope to see you. I hope that I encourage you to watch that Friday morning. What was that?
I'll try to make these live classes.
Yes.
Yeah.
If not, watch the recorded, but yes. It's so nice to have you in here with me.
Right?
Yes.
Back.
You're back. It's good to see you.
You too.
All right. Well, have a great day. Okay. I'll talk to you. Okay. Talk to you soon. Okay, bye, everyone. Bye.
Keep meeting.